Okay, so you're listening to Daniella Rabbani and Loryn Brantz on the Mom Curious podcast. It's actually a huge honor to have you, and I'll tell you why. It's because I've been a huge fan for a long time, and you know this because I DM'd you moons ago, years ago. Would you want to come on? And you said something similar to what you told your mom.
Yeah, I don't do podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't do interviews or like talking or in front of camera things. I'm much more. I want to be alone in a room drawing and writing and
Not doing this. I don't.
Yeah.
You don't want. What I don't want to do is exactly what I'm doing right now. Except the truth is that you're very good at being alone in a room.
Thank you.
Drawing and writing.
I
Damn.
love being alone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Although you're with kids all the time.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids?
2 kids.
How old are they?
2 and 5.
Uh-huh.
And they make sure I'm not alone as much as possible.
Yeah. How do you get alone time?
Only when they're at school or with the nanny. Only then. And then otherwise they're just on me, touching me, asking me to hold them, screaming at me. If I'm drawing, they're like, no, I'm drawing. Take my pen.
Are they good at drawing?
I think so, yeah.
I love that. You guys may have seen Loryn's cartoons. Do we call them cartoons?
Comics?
Sure.
Comics.
Comics and books like Feminist Baby, which is like a huge hit, in our house. And you have a new book coming out. Mm-hmm. What's it called?
Poems of Parenting.
And is it for children or is it for parents?
It's for parents.
Well, I love that because I read your children's books to my kids, but I also have the pleasure of like reading your stuff on Instagram, and it feels like you're talking directly to me. Like the balance between the joy and like the heart expansion of being a mother and the weirdness of it all, the overwhelm of it all. Like I feel like you strike it so beautifully and artfully, in fact, and I feel so seen by it. So I'm excited that is this your first book for adults?
It is. That's, yeah.
Congratulations. We're all so proud. When's it coming out?
April 8th.
Should we get a bio from you? I can brag a little and say that you've won 2 Emmys for your work on Sesame Street. I'm pretty sure I know you well enough now to know that you're not going to do the bragging.
Yeah, no.
And that you have like a huge social media following of people just like me who are just so grateful for your artistry and your words and your heart and the way you portray motherhood in this like messy middle sort of way, honest, funny sort of way. And you have 3 books out already? Is it 3 board books?
I have 6 board books out.
Oh my God! Only 3 in my home. I'm like missing
out.
Gotta
get the sequels.
Okay, you got some sequels out.
Sequels. This will actually be my 12th book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huge. Do you still work at Miss Rachel?
Yeah, I consult for her, so it's minimal, a couple hours a week.
You guys are good friends, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But who are you to you today?
Who am I to me? I'm a mom, a writer, an artist, a poet, and a tired person. Tired person. Mom.
Really great eyeliner.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's like on the top, it's on the bottom. Maybe you see this on YouTube, maybe you don't. Probably you don't. You're probably just listening to the audio. I want you to know that Loryn Brantz has very good eyeliner.
Oh, thank you. I was thinking about this morning. I was pretty goth in high school, and I wore and I wore like huge black like raccoon eyes, and it just has been decreasing slowly. It's like in like college it was like up to close to my eyebrow, and then now I'm an adult and it's still there, but it's just 2 lines.
I don't mean to take us off topic, but can we talk about you being goth for a second?
Fade's kind of like I was artsy. Artsy.
Okay, right. That was in spiky necklaces.
Yeah. Studded.
Definitely Converse. We were in Converse.
No? I wore Converse.
Oh. I was wearing Converse because I wasn't actually goth. I just wanted to look goth.
Yeah.
For this one guy.
Naturally.
Yeah. Okay, so you are all of these things, and you are also a person who is putting out her first adult
book.
but not adult.
Not
like,
adult.
Not
Not that adult.
Did you know that that's actually how I got my SAG card? Is,
no, adult films.
adult films.
Go on.
Should I go on? Well, we did say that we were going to flip the script,
Yeah.
so I thought I would share.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
that when I was just coming up as an actor, I did a lot of voiceovers, which is part of the reason why I'm doing a podcast, is because I feel very comfortable on mic. You know, like I like the sound of my voice. And I was
great.
like, I was like,
Wow.
other people like the sound of my voice. Like, let's just do this. Okay, but I would narrate books on tape for Audible.
That's awesome.
They were sexy books.
Oh,
Yeah, they were
that's
adult
so
books.
fun.
Yeah, they were not the adult book like your adult book.
Yeah.
It was like very adult.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And SAG-AFTRA was just merging at the time. And I did enough books that I became AFTRA, but just as the one union was merging with the bigger union, SAG, I was like, okay, I just like got grandfathered in. That's how I got my SAG card.
That's amazing.
Well, that's a little
I
script flipping for you right there. Okay,
like
give us
Can I tell you something about voices?
Yes.
And how I don't do my voice or on screen. The one time I did a YouTube video for BuzzFeed, someone commented, "It sounds like it hurts her to talk." I was like,
and you're like, true.
I was like, it does hurt me to talk, both like mentally and physically.
I feel so seen.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like maybe like your best friend just being like,
no, it's just some guy.
Just some guy.
Some guy.
You used to work at BuzzFeed.
I did.
What'd you do?
I was a writer, illustrator, and I did a bunch of things you might have heard of. Remember the Disney princesses with realistic waistlines post?
No.
And Disney princesses with realistic hair. That was me. Are you colorblind? Test was me.
I need to find all of these.
And then I did the Good Advice Cupcake there, which is like an animated show.
Tell us about how you went
I'll
out
just
on
say
your own.
I had been working really hard, and I was feeling like physically ill. And one night, both my kids had colds. I had a cold, and we were all super sick. And I had a little NyQuil, and I finally got into bed. And I don't know what time it was, but I started looking at pictures of my son on my phone, and I had just gotten him to bed, and then I heard him cry, and I was like, no. And that's when I wrote the first poem about that experience. And then I wrote 50 more poems, and then I just couldn't stop writing them. And it was all I could think about. So I couldn't focus in meetings. I couldn't do my other job. And I was like, I think it is time. It's time for me to try to be a full-time writer, illustrator, because I can't not do it anymore.
Wow.
And it was really scary to leave benefits and salary and all those things. But I did it, and I'm really glad I did. And then I forced my husband to quit his job.
No.
Yeah. And now we're like, what have we done? No, we're still happy with the decision, but
Good.
it's an exciting and interesting time.
So you're drawing and you're writing full time.
Yeah.
Did you have a book deal when you quit your job?
I did. Or did I? Yeah, I did. Because it happened really fast. I had done 2 poems, and then I got a DM. And I remember because I was again falling asleep like always, and I got this DM that was like, "Are you gonna make a book of these?" And I just figured it was just someone, and I was like, just someone that wanted to know. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll self-publish, I don't know. And then I checked their profile, and it was executive editor of HarperCollins.
Oh my
and
God.
I was like, oh no, what did I say? And I fell asleep. And then
This is your great charm. You're honesty. You're
Thank you.
I'm too tired to.
I'm too tired to care.
I'm too tired to care.
Yeah, and then that happened so fast, so it felt really meant to be. And now I've had more time to think about and work on other books, and I'm just really excited to finally be doing it.
I'm really excited also.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite part of this next book?
I do. I have a favorite poem.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah. I brought it.
Did you used to do did you like stand up and read your poetry in college, in high school, with your
No,
goth
no.
makeup on?
You know, I had only done.
And did you like
No,
snap?
I had
Because we're
art
both
shows.
wearing black, and I
Yeah.
feel like we're just like
It's true.
we're doing
It's a
beatniks,
poetry
and we're like
slam.
doing
It's a poetry slam.
it's a poetry
awesome.
slam
Yeah.
right here on the Mom Curious podcast, baby.
Yes.
We still got it.
I'd actually only done poems for kids until recently. And so that was also, I was like, wait, am I even allowed to do poems for adults? It seems really fancy.
You sure
Like I
are.
need some sort of degree. But then I realized you don't.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to School of Visual Arts.
Oh, nice, right here.
For animation. So I have the poem's called Monitor, and it's much better with the drawing, I'm sure, because there's a lady looking at a monitor.
You gotta buy the book, guys.
Yeah, you gotta buy the book to see the pictures that will make this better. Monitor. It will be hard for me to unplug your monitor if I could watch you at 43, sitting at your work, making sure you take lunch breaks, making sure you're happy. How can I unplug the monitor when I care so much to see? I promise it's not creepy. I'm just a silly mommy. Okay, that came out creepy. Please just ignore me.
I love it so much. So you've always been writing for children even before you had kids?
I did. I wrote Feminist Baby before I had kids. That was more like a fun aunt.
What's that about? Were you an actual aunt?
Yeah.
Oh, so were you inspired by that child?
Actually, I was looking for a baby shower present for a friend, and I went to Barnes & Noble, and I was like, excuse me, where are the gender studies for babies section? And they were like, no, that is not a thing, lady.
I'd like to create it, please.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I literally ran home and wrote it, and like emailed my agent, and
Here we are, 12 books later.
12 books later. Well, I had a book books before that
Talk to
that
me about
nobody's
that.
seen.
What are they called?
Well, my first
What an
book-
expose.
My first book is Harvey the Child Mime, and I think it's the best book I ever made. But it was published by a couple. This is like, okay, so I was like doing Craigslist illustration. Like India was outsourcing to me for illustration.
Wow.
It's like $1 a page. I was like, sign me up, anything. And this couple, I was drawing their dog for their books, and they wanted to start their own publishing house. And they were like, do you have anything? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I know, early 20s. And in retrospect, I brought it by hand to HarperCollins, and they were like, this is great. Can you edit it to be shorter and bring it back? And I was like, F you, I'm not editing anything that stays the length it is.
Look at how old are you?
Yeah, so I should have edited it.
You were in your 20s.
I've learned, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
can
had
still,
this couple.
can't you like republish it?
I hope to someday, maybe. I don't know. Publishers don't like to republish things, I don't think. But
okay.
This one, it should be, I think.
Because it's that good.
It's my favorite book.
Tell us the name one more time.
Harvey the Child Mime.
And can we get it?
You can, but you can only get soft cover, which is not as good. And I don't get anything for it. I don't know where they are. So the couple they weren't able to like ship them out or something. There was like some budgeting issues. So nobody really ever got it. Yeah, they weren't like a publishing house yet for real.
2 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a passion project,
Oh, okay. I have hope for that one. I want to read
Thank
it.
you. Yeah,
If
I'll
you think
send
it's
you
your
one.
best,
I'll send you one. I have a few.
You're the most humble person I know.
Oh, thank you.
So if you say it's your best, then I believe you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, but you always loved kids? Like you have like, were you like in the Babysitters Club?
No.
In your goth? Wait, what's happening
All
here?
the things. Yeah, I've always loved kids and children's media. And, I started in animation because I remember realizing at a very young age that like no matter what was going on in my life or whatever was feeling really hard, I could watch cartoons and laugh and feel happy. And I was like, I want to give this to everyone because what is anything other than what you're feeling at the moment, Mm-hmm. And so that was always what I wanted to do.
Did it amplify once you had Dahlia? Dahlia's your first child.
Yeah, I had more ideas, definitely. Having my own kids, it changed the way I write.
I'm sure it also changed the way, well, this is your first time publishing a book for adults, but you've been writing for You've been writing for me.
Aw.
You've been writing for me for a while now.
Oh yeah, the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, the comics are funny because this was the other thing with the poetry. I'd always felt like I had things I wanted to say and I wanted to make people laugh and these and that and draw and write, but I never really liked my comics. I was always kind of embarrassed by them. Like every time, like I would like the joke or the content, but I would see it and I'd be like, if I was someone else, I would say like, this is ugly and I don't like it. And I was never that proud of it. But then once I realized I can do that same thing with poetry and actually like what I made and be proud of it and post it, it's been like a whole different experience.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like I finally figured out how it is I want to share my thoughts, and it was that all along.
And you have this other perspective where it's like you have a lot of experience writing for kids. You're really good at it. You're really
Thank you.
funny. And similar to our mutual love of Disney and like, you know, cartoons in general, you also speak directly to the mother. Now that you are a mother.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like a real depth there. I mean, sometimes you don't need depth, but it's there, and I enjoy it.
It's
you
true.
know,
I do like to like I agree, but I do like to think about you know, when I did Feminist Baby and to another one of the Feminist Babies, I couldn't get pregnant at the time, and it was like really difficult because sometimes interviewers would be like, is this based on your own kids? Do you have kids? And I was like, I can write for kids and I don't have kids. Like I was a kid, so I know. So I don't like to say that like you can't write amazing things for kids without having kids.
You absolutely can.
Yeah, and some of the best stuff, some of my favorite books are people that never had kids.
And there is a dimension, I think, that like the way you speak to mothers as someone who understands motherhood.
Yeah.
That's something totally different, I think.
Yeah, that is different. I couldn't have done that. I feel like when writing and drawing, the best ideas come when you're in a no mind state. So I meditate as much as I can. I try to, there's the voice in your head and then there's the observer of the voice. So I'm always trying to get back in that seat of consciousness, like the observer of the voice and not be thinking I'm the voice.
Self-identified.
Yeah. So like being that self, and to me that's like some people call it God, some people call it unified field. I think David Lynch calls it that. And to me that's where the best ideas come from. So that this book was definitely a no mind book. Like everything was just sort of like, it just feel like it came to me from
somewhere else.
Yeah, the universe and
the source, right?
Yeah, the source, and very lucky to get it. And I think it's best not to overthink it. Like thinking ideas are like, moms do this and kids do this, and I'm gonna write that. Or like kids love cats and kids love candy. I'm gonna write a book about candy. And like those ideas are just never hit. They never hit for me, and other people don't feel things as much either.
How would you recommend getting into the no mind state?
Transcendental meditation is a great way to start, like a mantra. But once you kind of get there, you can really try to do it at any time, which is just like take a deep breath, feel the presence of your body and your soul, and just be there. Something that really helped me was from Eckhart Tolle. It's that like stop labeling things with your mind. So like when you see a tree, you think tree, but I'll be walking and I try not to label anything with my mind. So I try not to think tree. I just see just see it, and then suddenly it can feel very like you can feel very connected to everything.
Is that your way into spirituality these days? Is that?
Yeah, definitely my way into spirituality.
Like I experience a lot of spirituality in your work, but has it always been that way? Has it always been from the no mind state, and now you just have a way into it?
Yeah, my good ideas have been from a no mind state. I mean, Feminist Baby wasn't really thinking. But every now, I did this book Blanket, which we really needed the money. I needed to make a book. I kind of pushed that one out, and it's cute, but
it's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite. Yeah.
That first book?
Oh, that was definitely, I was so young. I definitely wasn't like overthinking it. I was just like Zen state, like book about a mime. Let's go.
And what about like promoting your work? Like, how does that work in the no mind state?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm working on that right now, trying to figure out how to promote work and still feel authentic to myself. And
even 12 books in?
Yeah, book promotion is a big part of being an author. You got to promote yourself, and it's funny because they're not hand in hand. Like usually people like to write or draw, just don't want to, be on a stage talking about it or talking to people, but you have to. So you just got to learn.
I feel the same way as an actor. I'm like, I like acting. I don't want to like market my acting.
Yeah.
It's like
it's hard.
It's hard, but it's like it's a necessary part.
It is. And a friend of mine recently was like, she's in marketing, and she was like, you have to do everything you can possibly do for this book to do well. And I just anytime I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that, I hear her say like, you have to do everything you can possibly do. And I'm like, just do it.
You DM'd me, you emailed me.
Like,
I got to read your beautiful book. Like you knew that it was you knew, like, who's going to be really excited to talk to you.
I hope so.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody about your hypnotist?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I did. So I knew all this stuff was coming up and I would have to promote it. Actually, I initially saw him for misophonia.
What is that?
It's like I hate noises, like someone chewing. It's like a disability, an auditory disability, where it's like it's the feeling of nails on a chalkboard when someone like chews this or that. This is another. I haven't like listened to many podcasts because usually there's like some sort of mouth, and noise. I like to read more. So I went for that.
So you'll never hear this.
Yeah, I probably won't listen. Cool. No, I'll listen to it.
Johan, no need to edit at all. She's not even gonna listen.
So I went for that, and I found him very helpful. He's great. John, I should look up his name and give him a shout out. You send me the
information. Yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody about it when I go.
Oh, great! Yeah, tell everybody. And then I was like, wow, this is great. I'm using it for everything. So for public speaking, things I'm nervous about, I'm going, and it's really helped. And he taught me a trick while I wasn't hypnotized, which was anytime I have a thought that's like, I don't want to do this, just immediately say like, I love this.
Really?
I love this. Yeah. And I was doing a speech at the Brooklyn Public Library, which is why I saw him. And the whole time I was like, I love this. I love this. And we got to this stage, and I was looking at it, and I remembered when I was a little kid, I danced, and I loved being on stage. I was like, let me on that stage. And I was like, I do. In parts of me love this. Like, I love this. And I really convinced myself, and I went up there and I had a great time.
I think I say that to myself in the wings before I go on stage. I get very nervous, like extremely nervous. Like, is that a panic attack? Maybe. I don't know. Like, really nervous. And I've been performing for 20 years, I mean, maybe longer. And I think naturally I do say to myself, I love this. I think in my head, I know that, like, I'm going to get over this and it's going to feel great. And I'm going to make an impact on people's lives and my own life and, transcend this experience. Good on him for making that a more... like out loud practice. And so it's working.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, clearly you're here. Yeah. Can you tell me about that journey to get to Dahlia?
Oh yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. We did IVF, and we tried for a long time, and then couldn't, and then we did a bunch of rounds. I had a miscarriage before her, which was very difficult. And then there she came, and she is, I mean, all kids are a miracle, but she's like an extra miracle to me, so we did the IVF, and we also did ICSI because my husband has BRCA2.
Oh.
And we didn't want to pass that on. So they did genetic testing to make sure, that the embryo didn't have BRCA2. And, there's like 4 cells in embryo. So, I mean, they took 1 cell and they tested and they didn't find anything. And then there was prenatal testing, and they didn't find anything. And then she's born, and she has like 2 rare genetic disorders that 100% they would have been like, we can't even shoot this embryo in, or like, the doctor would have recommended I don't have the baby, this and that. And there she is, got through all the testing, and she continues to amaze me every day with her existence. So proud of her.
Wait, so I'm also. It's funny. It's like an internet auntie. I mean, I know that you don't share as much about Dahlia as you once did because you value her privacy, which I really respect. But I feel like I'm catching up on her now. You're like, if I have you in the seat, I gotta ask how is she doing? Like, maybe for those of us who don't know exactly what what were those rare?
She has Soto syndrome and trisomy 14 mosaicism.
What does that mean?
The first, so it's all, so the trisomy they found first, which is it's like an extra. That's my husband's better at genetic stuff than me. It's an extra chromosome, kind of like Down syndrome, but it's very rare. There's less than 15 known cases. The Facebook group is like 10 kids. It's very, very. There's like no information. Yes, it's like no
globally?
Information.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we found out she has Soto syndrome later on because she was small then, and she started growing really fast. And we were like, we think there's something else going on because she's supposed to be extra small with the trisomy. And we test her more, and she has Soto syndrome, which is there's more cases that's still super rare.
When you did share about her, like, it was so beautiful to see her. Like, you would do a lot of physical therapy, and there was a question that if she could ever walk. And recently, you posted like she's tapping.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Every week at tap class, I'm like just like in tears. I just can't believe it. I mean. Yeah, we didn't know if she was going to walk. The physical therapist was kind of like, I don't know if that's in the cards for her. And we worked so hard. Early intervention is the best.
Oh, wow.
Just therapies all day, every day. And then she's tapping. She still loves ballet. She loves to dance. She does it in her own way. But it's amazing.
It really is amazing. And then you had an oopsies baby by IVF, which
yeah, then I had an accidental IVF baby.
How does that even happen? What are you talking about?
I know. I played some mind tricks on myself. So we had Dahlia, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to have more, and my husband did want to have more, and we had one embryo left that was frozen, and it was kind of like I felt weird just letting it sit there. I was like, well, we have this one more, and it's just sitting there. And I really didn't think it would work. I was like, there's no way it'll work. Let's just get it over with, shoot it in me, and be done with it, and move on with our lives because, Dahlia took so long to have, and then it just I didn't think it was going to happen. So we shot him in, and
oh my God.
I love the IVF experience. Is so crazy because you get to watch it on a video screen. And
and
you get to see
everything.
Okay. I love talking about this.
Oh,
it's
good.
So crazy.
Oh,
both kids, I had a similar experience with Dahlia. So first they show you the embryo on the screen, and they're like, "This is your embryo." And when I saw Dahlia's embryo, I was like, "Oh my God, it's my daughter! Like that's my beautiful daughter!" Like I had like an instant realization, which was so weird. Then they put it in, then I like second guessed it, and was like so anxious, and it worked. And then Ronan, of course, they grade them too. They're like, this is like a C. So they were like, this is a low quality. This is a bad quality embryo. I was like, okay.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, I know. And they showed me.
But actually, what does that mean?
It means it's like not like
viable.
They like grade them based on how many cells have been created and some other criteria, and how they think it'll work or not. But I think the grading's kind of hooey.
Yeah, because you have 2 kids who are like. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they showed me the embryo, and I was like, that is a A+ embryo. Like, what are you talking about?
Good-looking kid right there.
Good-looking kid.
I'm gonna write a book about him.
Yeah, and it was weird because I had thought it wasn't gonna work, but then again, I had this moment, and this is gonna get kind of weird, but I felt
I'm ready for it.
Okay,
We're here.
I felt like I could, and can I just say on the record, I am pro-choice.
Oh yeah.
And
we were all wondering if you were
based
on your feminist baby
and I don't think embryos
and all the spin-offs.
I think everything. Well, I can go into this another time. I think everything happens how it's supposed to happen. So the IVF it's all the same. It's all God created, spiritual, etc. Anyways, so I see the embryo, and it's like
you're in the right place for that kind of stuff. So don't worry.
It's like zooming around. It looks like it's zooming around the petri dish, and it was like hysterical. Like I was like, this kid's hilarious. Like this is already a little comedian. Like he's so funny and hyper. And then they like shot it in, and you get to see like this little white. And I was like so relaxed because I didn't think it was gonna work. So it was much different than Dahlia's, and it like shot in. And,
you see it shoot inside your body?
Yeah, if you like watch carefully.
And you can feel it?
Yeah, and I was like,
all the senses are
off. And I was like, oh my God, that worked. Like, I know that worked.
Oh, you knew
I was like,
worked.
I know that worked. And then it did. And
you're so connected to your body.
A little too connected, you know?
Is that real? Like,
yeah.
Am I just, okay.
Oh, no, that's true.
Okay.
Because I had like, you know, hypochondria and that sort of stuff, and like way too in tune with my body. And I try to be less connected to my body.
No way.
I don't want to like feel everything going on.
You're
all
a
the
real
time.
artiste.
Yeah,
it's real.
It's real.
I mean, your body's the entity that told you needed to move on from working for other people, right?
I try not to listen to my brain as much as possible.
Oh, your brain.
Yeah, I try not to listen to my.
You're not listening to anything or anyone.
I try not to listen to my mind. Like there's your mind, and then there's your consciousness.
Yeah.
And like your no mind.
Yeah.
And your feeling, like your gut feeling, your feelings in your heart. I 100% try to follow that all the time, and usually my mind or ego, whatever you want to call it, is wrong.
I mean, it's so mean.
It's so mean. It's so mean and so insecure.
And so insecure.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when we connected yesterday, I was like, you are such a star, you know? And it's almost refreshing, but also like, what a bummer that we all experience this ego being so mean to us because like objectively speaking, you're awesome.
Oh,
you know?
You too.
Thanks. But I also have that ego that's just like, why are you being so mean to me? I'm just trying
I'm just trying to live my life. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, it is strange. I've been like my Kindle suggested to me Mirror Work by Louise Hay.
Yeah.
And
oh girl,
I know. I'm a little late to the party.
Welcome to the party.
But I didn't realize how like difficult it's like to look in the mirror and like say nice things to yourself. And it's really
do it today because you do look really great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, not to be vain,
no.
But it's easier to look in the mirror when you got makeup on the hair. Is that terrible? Am I terrible?
No, that's not terrible.
That's reality. No?
Yeah. It feels good to dress up.
It feels good.
I never do.
Yeah.
When I wear like a regular clothes, my kids are like, "You're all dressed up, mommy."
Yeah.
Like I'm just not wearing sweatpants.
My kids, when I like put on real clothes, they think because I sing, and sometimes I have to like travel to go do a concert. They're like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
Like, just put on clothes. Yeah. I'm not going anywhere. I'm sorry to scare you. I can look nice for you too.
Yeah.
I mean, rarely, very rarely, but it does happen. Can we go back to your book?
Oh, yeah.
Should we go back to your book?
Yeah.
So who'd you write it for?
I wrote it. Well, you know, I didn't really write it for anyone. I dedicated it to Ronan because he kind of like deprived me of so much sleep that I really couldn't listen to my mind because I lost my mind and I just could only like make poetry. So it's dedicated to him, and it's for everybody. It's for parents. It's for, you know, I just want people to read it and feel less alone and laugh and all the good things when you read a good book.
I did get to read it, not to brag, but I did, and it's gorgeous and beautiful. Like gorgeous and beautiful sounds like two different things, but I'm talking about the illustration and the poetry, and it really reminds me of Where the Sidewalk Ends for our time. I mean, it's a totally different feel because it's relevant, you know. It's like it's very current, but I love it.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. So I just wanted to say thank you for writing it. When is it coming out?
April 8th.
April 8th.
Yeah, mark your calendar. You know.
Yeah, mark those calendars. Are you gonna have like a big splashy?
I am gonna have a little party at Books Are Magic.
Oh, nice! In Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I live right around there.
Oh, really? Great. Yeah, I actually just had an event and nobody came. I don't know if you saw. And so I'm like, I just book events are, you know, it's my 12th book, so I've had events where it's just like my family and like maybe one person like from the street comes in, that sort of thing. But this was like a zero 0 attendance. And I was like, wow, you can really come so far and still
have to market. You still have to market it. You still have to like push.
Yeah.
Which is why, I appreciate that you wrote the book and that you care enough to like get it out there, that you actually sat in this chair.
That's why I'm here.
I'm grateful that you trusted me with your debut podcasting experience. And did we flip the script? Did we do it?
Probably not enough. Tell me more about your parenting journey.
See you in 2 weeks. No. Tell me about my parenting journey. Or were you really asking? I also had a miscarriage. Like I was married. We'd been married for a while, but we got married very young. I got married when I was 26, and we had been together since I was 22.
I love that. That's very young for New York City. From Virginia.
So
I thought you were gonna say like
19.
Yeah, like 21. Like all my friends got married at 20, 21 in Virginia.
Really?
And that's
Okay.
Like, but keep going.
Okay,
Sorry.
I love that. Oh my God.
I appreciate that.
I'm on your podcast and I love it. Okay. So I thought it was young. Also, my friends from, I come from a pretty conservative town, and they also got married in their early 20s. So I thought I was very old, but then I live in like the entertainment sphere where like people are getting married in their 30s if they're getting married at all, So I felt, I guess, okay, very young for me. 26.
That's young. Yeah.
But then by the time I was like 30, 31, I was like, I probably should have a baby. Like that's probably like we've been at this for a while. Like maybe I should, but I didn't want to. I was like very career driven, and I felt like I was on like a high, and I could keep this going for a while. But then I got pregnant. Oh. Then I had a miscarriage. Oh. I wasn't attached to that life inside of me, but hormonally and like emotionally and spiritually, the feeling was very overwhelming that I just wanted to have a baby.
Yeah.
After that. So we tried, and then we had Ness, who, his name means miracle. Oh. Because I do think, Dahlia is a miracle times 3, that's for sure. But man, each and every one of us, miracle, man.
Yeah.
Ronan, a miracle. Yeah. He's shot up there.
Yeah. Swimming
around a petri dish.
I know.
You kidding?
And he's not really swimming.
I know.
Just to clarify, my husband's like, people are gonna think you think embryos swim, and I'm like, no, he was floating around quickly.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
And I just think like sometimes. So my husband the other day said to me like, just wanted to thank you for like birthing our children. Aww. And this is like nearly 8 years later.
Yeah, it's a little
late. But he was just like, they're like people, and you did that. Like they're like full grown people, and like I did that. So I called him Ness. Aww. His middle name is Chai, which means life. So he's Miracle of Life. Aww. Sorry, dude.
That's on the nose. Miracle of Life.
But I like it. Ness Kai. No one knows in English. Yeah. So that's my motherhood journey. Oh, wow. You really did it. And you also opened up beautifully. So I just want to say great job.
Thank you.
Guys, pick up Loryn Brantz's new book. Tell us the name one more time.
Poems of Parenting.
Poems of Parenting. Follow her on Instagram at Loryn Brantz. Yeah. And come back here and we'll hang out with, another amazing woman next week on the Mom Curious podcast. I'm so grateful to be in your presence, Loryn.
Oh.
Yeah. And yours, dear listener. Bye. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Mom Curious podcast. My name is Daniella Rabbani. I am your host, and I would love to continue this conversation at Daniella Rabbani on Instagram. And if you'd be so kind to rate and review, share this podcast, I would be just really grateful. Catch you next time, every Tuesday on the Mom Curious podcast, produced by Hoff Studios. You can find them at Hoff Studios on Instagram as well. All right, have a great day.